Greetings, everyone. This is Rock and Roll Spot Connection with the Weekly Comic Book Roundup. We've made our way through this week's Marvel books, as well as gotten a brief start on this week's DC books. Now it's going to wrap things up with the rest of this week's DC books. To kick things off, we've got Batman Brave and the Bold, number 2. This is the replacement for Batman Urban Legends. It's an anthology book, of course, so we've got 3 stories continuing. We'll starting off with Batman, the winning card. Where we left off there, the Joker was targeting Gotham's rich, and even though Commissioner Gordon was doing what he could, Commissioner Gordon Gordon and his people are doing what they could to prevent the Joker from striking, they keep seeming to fail. So the Joker narrates. Currently at the Wild Manor, there are plenty of cops around. Clock strikes midnight. Nothing happens. However, a dart hits Wild's neck. Knockout gas pours out of the out of a suit of armor, and then we learn the Joker's in the suit of armor. He promptly kills all the officers. Apparently, though, the Joker liked Gordon's mustache, so Gordon got to live. And got to watch Joker do a juggling act with the eyeballs of 2 of the other officers. Gordon relates the fate of his own father, who took his own life, to Batman, and say it takes a big man to admit his mistakes. And that's right before Gordon's father took his own life. But Gordon says that his dad was wrong about a whole load of things, but he was dead on about a few of them. He was a big man, and so was Gordon. Joker can't get some criminal to be pursued by a badge. There isn't some criminal to be pursued by a badge. Using police procedures to get a handle on what he's doing. Gordon tried that, and, well, now he's got to arrange 8 closed casket funerals. So, Batman comes up with a plan. Getting in touch with one of his socialite friends. So, as Bruce Wayne, calls one of his socialite friends and, saying he's going to try and lure out the Joker. Getting the guy to, Brute Nelson to be exact, do it instead. So we get some shots of various people talking about how Brute Nelson is scared of the Joker, basically daring the Joker to come after him. Joker does, and gets shot a few times, but still manages to stab Nelson in the hand. But Batman and Joker duke it out. But Joker ends up getting the upper hand and kicks the crap out of Batman, tossing him off a bridge. And that is where Chapter 2 ends. Brings us to our next story featuring Stormwatch, Down with the Kings. Where we left off, Stormwatch had taken out a specific prisoner from Iron Heights. Now they're searching for something. They found what appears to be a wrecked yacht off of Puerto Rico, or washed up on the Puerto Rican shore. Their Bones explains what's going on, how the story is that so it looks like they're looking for a blade known as the Dead Sea Blade. Basically, it's a threat to it. It's a threat to Atlantis. Stormwatch boards a fishing boat while Bones, Winter, and their chief scientist take a door back to Skywatch, or well, to the new Skywatch. Some of the team have some drinks, and we're getting to know one another in a moment. Aboard Skywatch, the remains, the substance found in the shipwreck is being studied. While back on the ocean, a rival seafaring species attacks Stormwatch. They appear to be overtaken with the oil that was found on the boat. Stormwatch makes quick work of some of them. However, well, Flint ends up with coming in contact with their blood, and well, Peacekeeper 1 gets stabbed with one of their blades, giving ends up being stabbed with a Dead Sea Blade, and Ravager states that they need an evac now. Our next story, continuing from the first issue, is a Superman story entitled Order of the Black Lamp. Where we left off, Clark Kent was going to do a story for for acting editor, for the Daily Planet's acting editor, Lois Lane, and Clark stumbles upon something, but his writing about it is kind of dry, and so Clark had an idea. Why not go write the article with Superman? And so this part begins with a plane with a plane crashing long ago. In the present, the decoder ring that Clark had received, well, Superman's following it and finds an ancient temple, which seems to line up with, well, old radio drama he used to watch. Finding a city Superman manages to take out its defenses and make his way further in, dealing with the initial guards. However, there's a much larger guard that has to be dealt with on the moon. And Superman discovers Pilot. Hop Harrigan, as well as the remains of Harrigan's good friend, Tank Tinker, who's badly injured in a crash. Didn't last long. Apparently, it was 75 years ago. And he tells Superman he thought the whole world had forgotten about him. Superman thinks that perhaps they did. And that is where this story ends for the moment. Our final story is All Things Considered. It's a Batman black and white story. Batman returning to the cave after a hard night in Gotham and dealing with his injuries and thinking back on the various scars he's received from various villains, and also basically reflecting on his rogues gallery as a whole, but and of course his parents. Alfred comes in, however, and finishes stitching him up, which causes Bruce to remember when Alfred would stitch him up as a child, and that is where the issue ends. I'm digging this series so far. I mean, it's basically Batman Urban Legends, just with a slightly different veneer. At the moment, it seems that we're getting mostly Batman-related stories. I guess this is also where Stormwatch will be appearing. Hopefully, Stormwatch gets their own book. But overall, I'm digging it. The black and white story was a nice touch. I'm really enjoying the Batman Joker story set during year one. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Detective Comics number 1073. Where we left off, the Orgums had Batman triggered explosives throughout Orgum Place, destroying it in an effort to prevent a bio attack on the city. Oracle's trying to get in touch with the rest of the members of the Bat family on the ground. Nightwing managed to get people out. At least I think he got most of them out. Cassandra still has left the tunnels and is tracking the Asthma, and Gordon's on the ground as well. Batman, however, is dealing with Arkham Orgum. But one of the Orgums with a hypnotic mask basically hits Gotham with a hypnotizing broadcast in an attempt to turn them against Batman. This broadcast is being broadcast through various media, and it to get almost anybody. However, Arclight of the Vigil shows up in the clock tower to save Oracle, adding that what they're doing coupled with the Thelamus engine, it can It can sway, or it can shape and sway whole cities. Ten-Eyed Man is aware that something is going on in the city. Two-Face has basically ordered his headquarters locked down. However, we see that more than a few people are being affected by the broadcast, including Azrael. Though, and while Oracle tells Jim Gordon what's going on, he sees it happening, but explains that he's been poisoned, drugged, hypnotized, jokerized, and brainwashed in his time. His head's already pretty screwed up. So it's going to take more than a TV broadcast. But he smashes the police control center's screens to snap Montoya out of it. And Batman continues his fight with Arzum. However, Arzum changes, and seemingly using an asthma, changes into a much bigger threat than previously. However, and while he does get some solid hits on Batman, he ends up utilizing an asthma on Batman. Batman does what he can to escape, but in his mind, he's pulled from the depths by Barbatos. And Barbatos just says, hey, give in to the dark, taste the darkness, just a little. But Batman says no. But Barbatos deals with the asthma, or opts to deal with the asthma, while Gordon and Montoya try to regain control of the city. In our backup tale, Things That Must Die, young Arzum fights off, is saved from the killers of one of the men of the court, in the garden where he and his father were growing a tree. Arzum was told there that they were sent by Ra's al Ghul, and one is still loose in the woods. And so Arzum takes an oil lantern out and burns the woods to the ground, including the tree that Arzum's father built, or grew. Arzum's presented with a gift, however, a music box, which contains the last remainder of that tree. Meanwhile, it's revealed that the entire thing was basically just to keep Arzum in line. And that is where the issue ends. But yeah, the Organs are an interesting bunch to say the least. Moving on, though, to our next book, we've got Harley Quinn number 31. Alright, yes. Where we left off, Harley was having to fight Captain Carrot. And Ivy had made her way back to Gotham. At the Flash Museum, Ivy calls the Flash Museum about the cosmic treadmill that Harley has, asking why did they send one, but they claim they don't sell them, at least not working ones. Bud and Lou are kind of saying, hey, we probably should not let Ivy know about what's going on just yet. Meanwhile, Harley is dealing with Captain Carrot and trying to explain that, basically trying to make up, but also trying to make up for the fact that all his friends were killed by Backside, since she took the Vorpal fish. But Captain Carrot kind of has a moment, stops at and remembers who he is, and opts to listen to Harley, and even help her in her quest. Even giving her one of his cosmic carrots before she utilizes the cosmic trampoline. No, really. In an effort to get back home. She arrives at home and tells Ivy a bit about what's going on. Later, Harley's taking her students, as well as Ivy, on a field trip to the giant typewriter. And the lesson concerns delusions. As she walks along the keys on the lower bar, however, she notices that the M is missing. And so Two-Face shows up with said M. But one of Harley's students is possibly going to fall to at least grievous injury. So Harley snacks on the cosmic carrot, avoids a gunshot, saves her student, but Lady Quark shows up, and, well, turns out that basically Harley gets a phone call from Batman, apparently, though Lady Quark is quite mad that she still does not know what Harley's purpose is. But Harley says, hey, can't say no to Batman. And, that's something everyone knows, right? Our backup story, Harley Genesis. Yet another dream of Harley's. In Neo Gotham, the Joker has convinced Harley to pilot a mech, as well as Selina and Ivy. The Joker is killed, however, backup plan, and Harley, Ivy, and Selina manage to defeat the Joker's evil plan, and Harley wakes up on the couch, saying that's the last time she falls asleep watching anime. And that is where the issue ends. This has definitely been an interesting arc. I mean, I'm enjoying Teeny Howard's run so far. I do think I still have to say I think I like the Stephanie Phillips, the previous writer, a little more. Just I like the art. That arc was. I feel like that arc still. There was still some legs to that arc, but hey, I dig Teeny Howard's work, so and like I said, it's not a bad arc. So, moving on to our next book, though, we've got Tim Drake Robin, number 10. Where we left off, Tim was searching for Batwoman, discovering she had been seemingly taken by the Chaos Monsters, and, well, the Chaos Monsters got Tim. Also, Bernard revealed to readers, not to Tim, that he knows that Tim is Robin. So Robin wakes up in the Chaos Monsters maze and starts making his way out of it. At the marina, Bernard's trying to check on Tim, but one of the people in the marinas, living at the marinas, tells Bernard that he thinks that, Tim might be cheating on Bernard with Robin. Then Bernard learns the Chaos Monsters seem to be on the loose. Basically, it was that kind of had to suss out a game of telephone, basically, about what's going on with the Chaos Monsters. As Tim tries to make his way through the maze, he sees that he has a hallucination of his father, and he wonders, why is it that he saw his father, not, say, Dick or Bruce or Jason or Damien even. But he finds Batwoman. Turns out that Batwoman went after the Chaos Monsters. Calling the Chaos Monsters a cult, and dragged the leader's son out, claiming to help him. But, well, that didn't work, and, well, the Chaos Monster she dragged out, well, did not receive the type of deprogramming that someone being pulled out of a cult should get, and sadly took their life. So Tim opts to, but the leader of the Chaos Monsters states that because of this, basically because of Batwoman's actions leading to the death of a Chaos Monster, well, they have to have her blood instead. Tim says, basically says, okay, I take her crimes onto myself. Kill me, not her. Meanwhile, Bernard is checking in with with those he knows to be associates of Robin, cast and staff, Detective Williams, and makes a makeshift bat signal and actually gets Batman's attention. Is kind of surprised that Batman knows his name, but he explains that Tim needs Batman's help. He's in trouble, and Batman has to find him. But Tim starts going through the what appears to be the brainwashing process of the Chaos Monsters, but Bernard, Tim's friends from the marina, and the Bat family come together and rescue Tim. Seems it's not a hallucination either. But Tim defeats the leader and leaves him trussed up on a lamppost. And the issue ends with Tim and Bernard back on the marina enjoying life. Not sure if this is the final issue or just the end of the series, or story, I mean. Distinct possibility it could be the end, but it also, for the next 2 months, DC will be running an event called Night Terrors, which is going to be replacing a lot of DC's regular books, including Batman, looks like Poison Ivy, Green Lantern. Okay, Robin's on the list. Catwoman, Nightwing. Detective Comics even. Harley and Titans. So looks like we won't be having any. If this isn't the last issue, well, we'll find out when the September previews come out. Otherwise, this is the end of the series. It was a good series. The current artist is an improvement over Riley Rossmo. Rossmo's style just doesn't fit Tim Drake, in my opinion. That's all. Nothing against Rossmo's style. Just it doesn't. To me, it doesn't fit Tim Drake. Moving on though to our last book of the week, we've got the Riddler, Year 1, number 5. Continuing the origin of the Riddler from the Batman. This issue largely just kind of goes through his notebooks, going through all the stuff he's discovered. Apparently, he was saved. He was actually saved by Batman. The notes are honestly incredibly hard to read, as they're written in. They're clearly supposed to be written by Enigma. Throughout, it just kind of builds through every. We kind of see Enigma's collecting evidence about what's going on, collecting his own evidence about the corruption in Gotham City, and basically making his setting up his website, deciding just what he's going to do and how he's going to do it and how he's going to make himself known. There's also a Gotham Times opinion piece by Ezra Klein, dated for August 29th, my birthday. Neat. The basic idea of the Batman versus Gotham is Max Weber famously said that the definition of the state is the monopoly on violence, only he didn't quite say that. The original quote from his 1918 lecture, Politics as a Vocation, is more interesting. The state is a human community that successfully claims the monopoly of the legitimate use of physical force within a given territory. And so the question is, Klein's question is, Gotham still a state? And that, to a point, yes, there's been some legitimate, the GCPD working, or tolerating Batman has somewhat legitimized him, and, well, what's going to happen? And so there's no longer a monopoly on the legitimate use of force, which means there will be competition. It's an open market. And, Riddler continues preparing for his plans that we saw in the Batman, and that is where the issue ends. This has honestly been a really fascinating miniseries. I really kind of like just the idea of having a miniseries, a comic tie-in to a movie that isn't just an adaptation, but perhaps explaining the background of a character from the film, because perhaps the film didn't have the time to do so. Anyway, that is going to do it for now. As always, feel free to like, share, and subscribe. Links to my Facebook, Twitter, Mastodon, Patreon, and PayPal can be found in the description box down below. This is Rock and Roll Spock signing off, saying, live long and rock hard.